Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Kate. You can see Kate's wearing some lovely lipstick for me today, which I already made a comment of how lovely she's. It's a mascara.
Right?
It's a mascara? Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah. Turned it up.
Nothing like a bit of lippy.
Summer's coming. You got to turn it up a little bit here.
Well, winter's coming for us now. We're the opposite, and I don't have any lip balm. I just got this great, it's actually nipple cream that I've been using for lip balm. It's pure lanolin, which is great. I don't know if you can get that in the States, but
Emma got me onto nipple cream?
Yeah, it's nipple cream, so it's pure lanolin. So it's got no flavors, no nothing. It's really so moisturizing. So I've just got that on today. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We wanted to talk about going all in and why, if you want to be successful at this, that you have to go all in. And what that actually means, because I think sometimes people have this idea about going all in and that they have to be perfect, and then they have these failures or micro failures and then they give up, and that's definitely not what it means. So what does going all in mean to you, Kate? Like, I've been someone who my whole life who goes all into everything that I do.
Yeah, I have too, and I will say that going all in means essentially that you're actually making a commitment to change. And it doesn't mean you need to change everything at once, but you're making a commitment to try, to change, to learn, to probably mess up, but to keep continuing through this process so that you want to get better, right? So if you're looking for a healing journey, the journey never ends, I assure you. Like me and Kitty were just talking, I've been doing this 8-9 years, and life throws you things, and things shift, and you create new learning from it. But to me, the people that have succeeded in this process and do the best are the ones that they're not going to, I'll try this, we'll see, and I'll kind of just dabble and not really do that much, and not food log and not take my 10 pulse. Like, you're probably not going to succeed to the level that you want by half-assing it, essentially.
I think too, like, it's going all in doesn't mean that you're not going to make mistakes. Going all in is still being committed to getting there, but failing and picking yourself up when you do make those mistakes and keep going, because it's so unrealistic to think that you're going to start anything and never make a mistake. And look, this is just my view and how I approach it. So I'll just go all in, take all the action, and learn from my mistakes. Because to me, that for me, it's the quickest way that I learn. It's experience. And, I don't worry that I fail, because I know that that's just a teacher. And like we said, it's a long term, it's a long game, like most of the women in our program, to heal and get to the bodies that they want, it's probably going to take them 12 months, maybe 2 years, possibly even more if they've come in with more severe issues. And it's interesting, I've got this email because every week I send out this email to clients in our program just saying, are you stuck? Like, do you need help? Reach out. I'm here. We're all here. Where are you? What do you need help with? This one lady replied back. She goes, oh, no, I'm good, Kitty. I've been in the program 11 weeks, but I'm just taking it slowly with the progressions because I really want to learn the movements, those basic movement patterns correctly. And I've done this, and I've aimed to do this next week, and I've been failing forward. And, and I just replied back and I said, that's a great attitude. I said, you're exactly where you need to be. I said, if all our clients thought that way, I said, they'd probably feel a lot better, because, 11 weeks is actually a very short period of time. And if you do the basics right and you build those foundations, it's going to be so much easier for you down the track. And, like you mentioned about food logging and all that sort of stuff, it seems hard at the start because you haven't done it. But if you just push yourself and go all in and what's the word? Immerse yourself in the whole process, it gets easier, because you fail hard, you fail quickly, and you pick yourself up and you keep going, I think.
Yeah. And I think, I always like to use the learning a new language analogy. I took Spanish classes for 5 years. I never immersed myself. I only did what I had to do to get an A or whatever in that class, but that was it. I did the minimum amount, even though I looked like I did good. I couldn't tell. I can, barely speak 20 words of Spanish because I didn't immerse myself. Now, I've seen people that immerse themselves in language, and, maybe they go live in a culture or they tell everyone to speak to them in that language for 6 months and take a far shorter period of time but yet they progress much quicker. Now, again, I'm not saying to everybody, you know, we all have our own journey to this, but you got to immerse. I mean, when you immerse yourself, and that kind of means, you know, you have to change your life around this. It's not just eating food. It's shifting the way you think. It's how are you living? It's how are you sleeping? It starts to become who you're hanging out with. It starts to become, you know, when is your food prep time? A lot of these things have to start happening for you to be successful. And initially it does take a little bit more time and energy because you're not used to it. You got to figure it all out. Now, of course, over time, it becomes your new norm and it becomes much easier. Just like when you learn a new language, in time, it becomes much easier. And then you can just speak it fluently and there's no issues there. But, you know, it does help to really kind of immerse yourself initially in the beginning to kind of get yourself through that time. And so that you can start getting those results and you can start feeling better. And, you know, and then it does become more normal for you because then it does become easier.
And, you know, like, I think a really good example of this, and just one that I've, you know, I guess probably not struggled with my whole life, but the drinking, you know, like I was a really big drinker, and it's probably, I would say, only really now that I don't really drink much at all anymore. And I actually truly don't want to drink. And, you know, for me, like, I've got a bit of a rule. I say to myself, it's only 3 drinks. And I always have, like, because I love cocktails. So I'll try and get really good quality cocktails with good spirits and fruit juice. And if I have that and I eat lots of good food, I usually feel fine. Like, I don't feel terrible. But I had to really go, like, there was times where I didn't drink anything, like 7 months, you know, because I was like, for me, like you say, you have to immerse yourself in it and make that change. And then when you come out the other side, you're like, okay, cool, I can drink, but I don't have to anymore, you know. But I think you'll still make mistakes. And I shared this in the Facebook group. So I went to this baby shower on the weekend, my friend's baby shower, and they had like various different foods, and I just ate whatever. You know, there's these rice paper rolls, and they had this like little salmon. I just picked the best things there. Like, I didn't get too worried about it and just ate whatever. Just didn't eat any of the deep fried stuff. But they had French champagne. Oh, I fucking love French champagne. Like, because their mum had all this French champagne. So I was like, I'll just have a few glasses. 6 glasses later.
Perfect.
And I stopped there and I went home, but I still felt not very good. And the next day I felt depressed, which I knew was just the alcohol. The next night I didn't have a good sleep. And it took me till Tuesday to actually feel better. And I just thought to myself, I was like, I didn't beat myself up and go, you fucking idiot, and then go out and eat shit and do whatever. I was just like, okay, cool. You did it. Did you really enjoy it that much? Not really. You would have still had a good time anyway, you know. And then I was like, I really just don't want to drink wine and champagne anymore. Like, I don't need to. And I'm going to a friend's hen's party this weekend in Brisbane, and we're going to the Magic Mike show, you know, like the strippers.
Okay. Yeah.
So I was like, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drive to Brisbane and drive back. So then I can't drink, and I'm going to have a really good time, and I'm just going to go for 3 hours, and I'm going to come home, sleep, and wake up and be able to go to the beach and do all the things that I want to do. But if I didn't, like you say, immerse myself and go, I'm going to go all in, and I'm going to commit to breaking this habit that I have to drink when I go to places, I never would have been able to get here. But like you say, it's that you're still going to have these micro failures, and you're still going to have, you know, not slip ups, but, you know, do things where you're like, that doesn't really make me feel that good anymore, but it's okay. You know, because you, like you say, you're committed to the journey, how you want to be, how you want to feel. So you just keep going.
Yeah. And I think and this is why food logging and being aware of and kind of paying attention to how you're feeling, how's your bowels, and kind of recording this. Because, you know, I had a client and she started the process, did really good for a couple of weeks, and then kind of got or kind of got ill, fell back into some of her old habits. But the whole time, you know, since I didn't have enough energy, and then I had to do this. And so I made some bad habits, and I didn't feel like cooking. So I had this, and then it made me feel worse. But I'm like, okay, okay, cool. It's cool that you screwed up. What did you learn? She's like, well, I learned that this makes me feel like crap. That made me feel like crap. And when I did that, it made me feel like, cool. Do you want to feel like crap anymore? She's like, not really. I'm like, okay. So what did you learn? She's like, okay. So I'm like, again, that's why you screw up. And in the beginning, you're totally going to a lot, right? But every time you screw up, you got to think about, you're going to learn, like, just like you did. You're like, I don't like doing that anymore. I feel like shit. And I feel good all the time. And I want to continue to feel good. Why do I want to do that to myself? And maybe in 6 months you do it again. I don't know. But, and that's what it generally starts happening is maybe in the beginning, after 2 weeks, you screw up. So maybe the next time it's 4 weeks and then you screw up. And then it's like 3 months and you screw up. And then maybe you don't, and then though what happens is then you just might want to say, now I really want to start working out. Cool. Let's start adding that in, and so it's this process. And it's not about doing it all right initially, because you're not going to. And again, to me, it always comes back to your brain and your habits, because if you have some habits that suck, your brain is going to like that pattern. And so for you to pull yourself out of those patterns, you got to do it the right way a few times. Your brain wants to pull you back in, like I said, we always fall back to our old habits. You trigger it, you're going to fall, and then you shift again because you just had a new awareness. The awareness is what's going now. Some people get aware and they still make stupid choices way too often, but again, it always comes back to that's your choice. Apparently you like to feel like shit more than you want to feel better. No, I don't. You obviously do, because you keep making that choice. I mean, think about it. They're like, wow, okay, So, I mean, that's what it comes down to, because you're in charge. So you're choosing, and something makes you feel crappy. So, you choose it ultimately, right? I mean, it's like going on a hamster wheel, right? If drinking usually makes you feel like crap, it's not all of a sudden going to make you feel good.
No, but sometimes you need those little reminders, and you'll have those little slipbacks. But like you say, if you just committed to, it's like I just was reminded, you don't like to do this anymore. That was a good little reminder, At least you didn't drink fucking 10 bottles and, go and eat. Like before, I would have got absolutely hammered, went and got smashed dirty pizza and woke up feeling, 10 times worse. So it's like, I was like, that was good that you didn't do that, Kitty. Not that I'd probably do that anymore, but you know what I mean? It's like you just have to, like you say, learn and move forward. And, one tip I want to give women, because I get a lot of messages every week going, oh, Kitty, like they do one bad thing, not bad, but, thing that's not helping them move towards where they want to be. And then it cascades and all of a sudden they haven't prepped their food or tracked their food or whatever. And I was like, look, they're like, I just can't get back on the wagon. Like, I just can't get back into it. And I said, there is no magic answer, no magic thing that's going to make you do it. You just have to take action, and just action one thing. So give yourself one focus. So I'm like, what is it that you think you need to do to start to get you back on track? One lady's like, okay, I need to just track my food for one day and then eat my food for one day. I said, cool. So our goal every day, you're going to check in with me, and your only goal is to track your food and eat the food that you've prepped and get it in. And you'll message me at the end of the day. And after 7 days, she's like, oh, I'm feeling so much better. And then she's like, I'm going to start doing the training. And then, so I think it's just focus on doing one thing at a time and just get through one day, and then build on that, because it's the action that will lead to the motivation and to you feeling better. If you just always wait around to feel motivated, it's never, ever going to work, you'll never get there.
Yeah. And so I think that's a good point, because I think, and I know when you say this too, as I do, it's when I say all in, all it means is you're committed to the process. You are 100% committed. It doesn't mean you have to do everything today. That's not what it means. It means that you need to start, and you need to find what your starting point is. And if it's one thing, do one thing, right? And then when you get good at that, do another thing.